Day 147. 1 Chronicles chapter 26, 27, 28 and 29. Psalm chapter 127. Hello, and welcome to today's Scripture Whispers. There are lists of gatekeepers, treasurers, military leaders, administrators, and officials. Let's begin. Gatekeepers. These were people assigned to stand at the entrances of the temple. Some people sang in public worship, some people offered sacrifices, but these men simply guarded doors. To many people that might seem like a small and insignificant job, yet God recorded their names in Scripture. Why? Because God values faithfulness more than visibility. Many people want positions that attract attention. They want titles, recognition, and applause. But God's kingdom operates differently. The teacher who prepares lessons faithfully. The cleaner who keeps the environment safe. The parent who quietly raises children. The church volunteer who serves behind the scenes, all of them matter to God. Many of society's most important work is done by people whose names never appear on social media. God sees what people overlook. The gatekeepers remind us that there are no insignificant assignments when God is the one who gives them. If God has placed a responsibility in your hands, do it faithfully even if nobody applauds. Heaven keeps records of faithfulness. In this life, please note that success requires both spiritual and practical organization. Many people think spirituality means avoiding planning and organization. But David's kingdom teaches the opposite. These chapters carefully describe treasurers, officers, military divisions, administrators, counselors, and supervisors. Everything had structure. Everything had accountability. Everything had a responsible person. David loved God deeply, yet he also understood administration. Many families, businesses, ministries, and schools struggle not because people lack passion, but because they lack systems. Prayer is important. Faith is important. But God also expects planning. A family budget is a system. A school timetable is a system. A work schedule is a system. A savings plan is a system. David's example teaches us that spiritual people should not fear organization. In fact, organization often protects what God has entrusted to us. Good intentions without structure often produce frustration. Purpose becomes effective when it is supported by wise planning. Through the Bible, we have seen instances where sometimes God says no to good ideas. David had a dream. He wanted to build the temple for God. It was a beautiful desire. Yet God told him no. David explained, "God said to me, 'You shall not build a house for my name.'" This is one of the most surprising moments in Scripture. David's idea was good. His motive was good. But God's answer was still no. Many people struggle when God closes a door. They assume something is wrong. But sometimes God's no is not rejection. Sometimes it is redirection. David was not chosen to build the temple. He was chosen to prepare for it. And that preparation was equally important. In modern life, we may apply for a job and be rejected. We may pursue an opportunity and lose it. We may have plans that never happen. Yet God's purpose is often larger than our personal ambitions. A closed door does not always mean failure. Sometimes God is assigning a different role in a bigger story. David accepted God's decision and shifted his focus from building the temple to helping the next generation succeed. That is true maturity. Real success is leaving others better prepared than you found them. David knew his life was nearing its end. Instead of focusing on himself, he focused on Solomon. He encouraged him, he trained him, he transferred wisdom to him, he prepared him for leadership. One of the greatest tests of success is not what we build. It is what remains after we leave. Many people focus on achievement. God also cares about legacy. A parent leaves values. A teacher leaves knowledge. A leader leaves systems. A mentor leaves wisdom. David's greatest contribution may not have been his victories in battle. It may have been preparing Solomon for the future. In today's world, many organizations collapse when one person leaves because knowledge was never transferred. The lesson is simple. Don't just do the work. Teach someone else how to do it. Don't just solve today's problems. Prepare tomorrow's leaders. That is how lasting impact is created. Do you realize that giving reveals the condition of the heart? One of the most remarkable moments in these chapters occurs when David and the people give generously toward the future temple. David gave from his personal wealth. The leaders also gave willingly. The people rejoiced because their giving was voluntary and wholehearted. Notice something important. Nobody was forced. Nobody was pressured. Nobody was manipulated. They gave because they believed in the vision. Today, people often evaluate generosity by the amount given. God often evaluates generosity by the attitude behind it. Two people can give the same amount and have completely different hearts. Giving reveals priorities. What we invest in often reveals what we value most. This lesson extends beyond money. We give our time, we give our attention, we give our energy, we give our talents. The question is not only what we possess, the question is what possesses us. The people gave joyfully, because their hearts were already committed to God's purpose. Unless the Lord builds the house, the builders labor in vain. Unless the Lord watches over the city, the guards stand watch in vain. This does not mean work is unnecessary. The Bible encourages diligence, but it reminds us that human effort has limits. Many people are exhausted because they believe everything depends on them. They carry every burden. They try to control every outcome. They work constantly but live with anxiety. Psalm chapter 127 offers balance. Work faithfully. Plan wisely. Prepare diligently. But recognize that ultimate success comes from God. The farmer plants the seed. God provides growth. The teacher teaches. God opens hearts to learn. The parent guides. God works in the child's future. The business owner plans. God provides opportunities. This psalm frees us from the illusion that we control everything. It invites us to work hard while trusting God deeply. Faith and effort are not enemies, they are partners. As we conclude today's Whispers from the scripture we read, let's remember the following. Faithfulness matters, even when nobody notices. God values organization as well as spirituality. God may say no even to good ideas. True success includes preparing the next generation. Giving reveals what truly matters to us. Hard work needs God's blessing to produce lasting results. These chapters remind us that life is not only about achieving personal goals. It is about serving faithfully, planning wisely, giving generously, mentoring others, trusting God's timing, and recognizing that every success ultimately comes from Him. Thank you for listening, and may these timeless lessons guide your decisions, your relationships, your work, and your faith journey today. God bless you.